It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning, 10:01. We're at 57 degrees, partly sunny today, windy, cooler with a high of only 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A sluggish jobs report out today may point to cracks in the economy and whether the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates later this month. Labor Department reports just 22,000 jobs were added last month, well below the 80,000 that were expected. ABC's Alexis Christoforous tells us which areas gained and lost the most.
Once again, it's health care. We saw a decent number of jobs added there, but it was almost completely offset by another loss in federal government jobs. Government jobs down about 92,000 since the beginning of the year.
The unemployment rate rose slightly to 4.3%. Some southeast Wisconsin residents wondering how long it'll take to get federal aid after last month's historic floods. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ.
I was in Washington on the Hill just yesterday and had conversations with almost every member of the Wisconsin delegation and stressed to them the importance of having the federal government to do its part.
Governor Tony Evers requested a disaster declaration from President Trump last week. In recent years, Wisconsin's waited anywhere from a week to more than a month for previous administrations to declare a disaster. Happening at City Hall, Milwaukee officials explaining how they plan to address street takeovers around the city. Mayor Johnson plans to impose a $500 citation.
Participating in these events, it's not smart. It just really isn't. Like, somebody's going to end up hurt. Somebody's going to end up dead.
Milwaukee County District Attorney Kent Lovern.
And where the evidence supports it, we will not hesitate to issue criminal charges and zealously prosecute those individuals in our criminal courts.
Over a dozen street takeovers took place over the Labor Day weekend. City of La Crosse claims 3 companies that manufacture fire trucks have conspired to monopolize the industry.
A lawsuit filed in August accuses Oshkosh Corporation, Rev Group based in Brookfield, and Rosenbauer America LLC in South Dakota of limiting the supply of fire trucks and driving up their price. The suit cites actions taken by the companies around the time of the 2008 Great Recession to buy up smaller manufacturers unable to adapt to lower consumer demand. The city says the companies control up to 80% of the fire truck market in the U.S. Oshkosh Corp and Rosenbauer have denied the claims. Rev Group has not commented. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Forecasters keeping an eye on the Pacific as Hurricane Kiko gets closer to Hawaii. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee says the storm may weaken to a tropical storm next week.
Hurricane Kiko is what we have our eyes on in the Pacific because by early next week, the Hawaiian Islands could be seeing impacts. Definitely high surf. Most certainly could see some wind gusts and even some rain showers. But this again, Tuesday through Thursday next week. So some of the biggest impacts as it passes likely north of the islands.
Forecasters expected to have a better idea on what the impact will be for Hawaii on Sunday. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are down. The Dow off 349 points. NASDAQ down 160. S&P 500 is down 50 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
love cutting your lawn or raking leaves? Yeah, right. Well, if you lived in a brand new Cornerstone development community, someone else handles those duties. Buy a brand new home in the Grove in River Hills, the Glen at Stonewall Farms in Grafton, the Glen at Standing Stone in Waukesha, or the Glen at Wanakee in Menominee Falls, and they take care of the maintenance. All built with your selection of finishes. If you downsize, there's a clubhouse for when you temporarily need to upsize. Take a virtual tour and see for yourself at cornerstonedevelopment.com.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers lost to the Phillies 2-0 in their series finale. Milwaukee back on the road tonight to face the Pirates. Wisconsin football team will play on their home field this weekend, facing off with Middle Tennessee on Saturday. Quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. unlikely to play after being hurt in last week's season opener against Miami of Ohio. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Packers open the regular season Sunday at home against the Lions. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a crash. It is off to the right, blocking the shoulder I-94 West at 35th Street. Disabled vehicle on the exit to Moreland Road North from I-94 West. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly sunny, windy, cool today. 63 for the high. Clear and breezy overnight with a low 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, cool tomorrow with a high 63. Mostly sunny Sunday, 65. Sunny and nice on Monday, a high 71. Then a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower on Tuesday, 74 for the high. 54 in Madison, 50 in Green Bay, 57 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Oh, you were serious that you wanted me to kick it off today?
I told you I wasn't ready yet.
All right. Welcome to the Friday edition of Point Taken, which means Joe McCoshen in the studio, Republican strategist. Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, your mic's not on yet?
Oop, there it is.
There
we go.
And then
a little rusty over here.
Calling in from D.C. is Joe Zepecki. How's the weather out there, Joe?
It's hot. You get a little sticky walking around D.C., I gotta say.
Okay, it's hot there. It's cool here. It feels like fall here.
Joe, what time's your meeting with Donald Trump?
J.D. Vance. I heard it was with Vance.
They are not admitting me to the White House. Can you believe that?
Oh, well, yes.
Actually, I'm not surprised.
I must be an enemy of the state.
What are you doing out there, Joe?
Had some meetings, a fundraiser, and creating some content for one of my clients.
Ooh, creating content. That sounds like my job.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the performance yesterday.
3 hours.
3 hours of RFK Jr.
hours.
Yeah. I'll describe it as chaotic, not full of information that I really needed. It's like a lot of name calling.
Fairly bipartisan, because there were certainly some Republicans also not thrilled with the job that
John Barrasso, for sure.
Bill Cassidy.
Yeah.
All right. How much of it did you watch?
I listened for about an hour in the car.
What was your takeaway?
Same. It was hard to listen to. You had to be really into politics to try and follow what they were talking about. It was insults back and forth. But there were a couple things that were said that by Kennedy that really struck me, and I'm going to read one of them. He claimed during the testimony that American children received between 69 and 92 vaccines in order to be fully compliant between maternity and 18 years old. I almost drove off the road when he said that. I'm like, that can't be right. So I put it, we've all joke about it, I put it into AI, and the number that comes back on AI is 17.
Which tool, just for curiosity?
I do a normal one, so I don't actually press Grok. I don't
Google AI.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably. I mean, you young people, I can't keep up with you. But I got it to work, and it said 17. But then when you open the schedules, some of them have 3 or 4 in the series. So maybe that's how he got to the number. But the thing that struck me was, as combative as the hearing was, not one senator on that dais challenged him on that number. I'm like, how is that possible? How
there's
is that?
doctors on that.
There's doctors on there. Not one of them challenged him. They challenged him about politics, about being a kook, blah, blah, blah. Not on that statement. And it got me thinking, why do we have that many?
But
right? Even if it's 17.
But I also think that's a failing as far as the communication from doctors and public health officials. So it's like, I know because I have Frankie, right? I can sign into Frankie's My Chart or whatever that we have with her pediatrician, and I can see what vaccines she's already had.
Yeah.
What they don't communicate very well, and not medical speak, is what those do and what they're saving her from, right? Like that extra step of putting it in layman's terms of what these do and why these are beneficial. Like that is a failing as far as medical communication to patients and parents. That doesn't mean, just because they're not doing that though, doesn't mean that they don't serve a purpose.
Well,
can I ask a level setting question?
Sure.
Bill, when your kids were little, did your wife take them to the doctor most of the time or did you?
I took him to the grocery store. She took him to the doctor.
Right.
I like that
and
qualifier.
So part of what my frustration with this conversation is this is the same trick that Republicans pull when they say, well, this bill has 2,100 pages in it. And the idea that a number that strikes people as high, therefore means something's going on. You know what's going on? Human life expectancy has exploded in the last 50 years. Our kids, like parents I'm seeing online are going like, our kids get vaccines for diseases we've never heard of. You know why you've never heard of them? Because vaccines eradicated them. The idea that because it's a high number of shots, that there's somehow something inherently wrong about that is just nonsensical.
Here's what I think people forget. This goes to the point that Joe was just making. Up until about in the mid-1900s, half kids died, probably in the 1800s, half the kids died before they were 5 years old. Then vaccines started to be produced, and that's not the case anymore. And I know this because I volunteer at a cemetery, and I look at all the old graves from the 1800s. Most of them are kids. Most of them didn't live past 3 years old. So the reason we have all these vaccines is to allow children to develop, to become adults, to have a population that's mainly healthy. And polio, if that ever comes back, or measles, it's not just about the individual. It's about the collective we. We help people be safer and more healthy by doing the right thing as a community. But all of us in this room, and probably Joe as well, I think we're all on the same page. We all agree vaccines, they work, right? For the most part?
The ones we know of. I mean, to your point, I think this is going to freak out some of your fans, but I think your statement earlier was in alignment with Maha Moms, which is we just want more information. And I think at the end of the day, that's what the hearing was all about. Kennedy was saying, I'm there to provide you guys information that either you've never seen before, and many haven't, or hasn't been publicly available, right? And I think that's where the Maha movement is at and where he's succeeding. So I did some more research on Kennedy last night in prep for the show, and he's actually the most popular cabinet secretary in the Trump administration. Some polling has him up, plus 20. Now, CNN yesterday had him -7, but even at -7, he was still the most popular. So there is a movement, and I think he was a critical piece in Trump's victory, bringing independents in many cases or moderate Republicans back into the fold because they believed in the Maha movement.
I think Joe's got more to say. We'll take a break here. We'll have Joe come back on this RFK, his testimony yesterday, and sort of the back and forth that we're getting on vaccines, healthcare, what we do as a population when we come face to face with the pandemic, and a whole lot more on the Friday edition of Point Taken. Kristin and Steve on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, did you know it's Grandparents' Weekend? I know, not as popular as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your mom, your dad, your grandparents to the amazing Mind Chef family restaurant in Hartford. The Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. You'll pay double for that at other restaurants. The Saturday steak or prime rib dinner with all the sides are both under $25. Desserts, I love their desserts, are buy one, get one free. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Mind Chef is super affordable. It's family friendly. You'll love the Friday all-you-can-eat $7.99 haddock fish fry serving from 10:30. Arrive early. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mind Chef. The Mine Chefs in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve your grandparents' weekend table now. Google the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Marilyn.
I've been volunteering for over 30 years, so I got to know the community and loved it. We have a theater, community room, and we have bocce outside. They have gardens all over the campus that the residents tend to. Quilting groups, sewing groups, knitting groups, just lots and lots of amenities. Never a boring day.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back September 9th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Texas Rangers.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in September 9th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Thanks for tuning in. Another Friday edition. Bill McCoshen, Joseph Pecky, Joe on the road, Kristin and Steve on this Friday. Thanks for listening as always. 855-616-1620, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text line. Your chance to provide feedback, questions. I wanted to give Joe a chance on the road to sort of jump it back into the. So I guess, Joe, the way I'll preface that is by saying we listened for 3 hours, or I listened to about 2.5 of that, or watched some of it. I don't know that I learned anything. I'm not a fan of RFK Jr. I'm not a fan of his leadership. I'm not opposed to new ideas, and I guess that's the open door for RFK. Certainly has some different ideas. What do you think this accomplished yesterday? The hearing, RFK speaking, very popular cabinet member, as Bill said. What did they accomplish yesterday?
The hearing didn't accomplish anything, but that's okay because it wasn't the biggest, most important thing that happened in this space yesterday. Bill described the Maha movement. This is a Maha mess that is about to become a race to the bottom because the Florida Surgeon General and ostensibly the approval of the DeSantis administration became the first state in the nation to eliminate entirely any vaccine requirements for young people to go to school. That is going to kick off a race to the bottom where every MAGA politician and every red state thinks that they have to eliminate those vaccine requirements as well, which means that before long, we're going to have about half the states in the country without any vaccine mandates, which is going to make people think that vaccines are less safe than they are, and more children will die. So this is not about politics. This is not about a hearing on Capitol Hill. It is about a movement that has spawned a mess that is going to cost young people their lives.
Bill, do you agree with the Florida decision to eliminate vaccine requirements?
You mentioned it in the first block. Yeah, there are certain vaccines that I think have to stay. I mean, measles, mumps, rubella, it's proven effective, right? Polio, those two for sure. Do all 17 of these need to stay? Does the Hep B vaccine need to be given to every baby if the mother's not a hooker or a drug user? I think the answer is no. And I think Rand Paul has made that point pretty clearly in the last couple of weeks. So I think re-examining the full schedule makes total sense, but doing away with vaccine mandates completely for some that have proven effective for more than my lifetime, I'm not for that.
Do you think we'll see efforts in Wisconsin to do something? No?
No, but to Joe's point, the Florida issue will become a top issue in their gubernatorial race. Remember, Ron DeSantis cannot run for a third term, so they will have an open gubernatorial race. It's already underway. And it could be a powerful issue against Byron Donalds, for example. He's a member of Congress, clearly a Maha supporter. It appears that this is popular in Florida. We'll see how it shakes out when it becomes a top issue in a gubernatorial race.
Let's tee up another one. The jobs report is out. It's not very good. It's, I think, 22,000 jobs. The prediction was 75. We know that we had all the shakeup at BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Trump argument was...
Which would have no impact on the job number.
No, shouldn't. And the Trump's argument always, President Trump's argument is always the numbers. I can't trust them. I don't want to get rid of that person.
Right. Or they're not his.
Yeah. So we have a new person in there. I don't think the president has reacted to those numbers yet, but there is growing concerns. This is a bigger topic about the state of the economy. There's some good news and some bad news. There's a question of uncertainty about tariffs. That's certainly going to be a Supreme Court decision at some point.
October at the soonest.
Yeah, they've asked. President's asked for expediting that decision. I guess, where do you think we're at, given these job numbers, given what you're hearing about the economy?
I'm going to remain consistent. I've said this for several months since the big beautiful bill passed, that they had to focus like a laser on the economy. These numbers not great. Whether they're completely right or mostly right or not even right, they're scary. And if I'm Trump today, the first thing I say is when the Fed meets next week, they need to lower the rate by 2 points, from 4 down to 2. No question about that.
I don't think you're going to get 2. You might get 1.
He's going to say, I was right. Powell is too late. Whether that's fair or unfair remains to be seen. That's politics, right? So the Fed has to play a role now. This is one of the indicators they look at. They have to see a softening job market, and it's time to act. So I think that's one, and I think they'll do a second cut, maybe even a third cut before the end of the calendar year. But they have to get some resolution on these tariffs. They have to get some of the $17 trillion that's been committed. He met with all the tech CEOs yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
2 of them, Apple and Meta, promised $600 billion in investment themselves, just in those 2 companies, so $1.2 trillion. That investment has to happen sooner than later. But I will remind listeners, as a former Commerce Secretary, when you are starting from scratch, those new buildings, that's 24 months, probably, before the first job happens.
Joe, where's the economy at in your mind?
Perilously close to forever obliterating whatever political goodwill Donald Trump has left. This is shaping up to potentially be an administration killer, because Trump's saving grace politically has always been people thought he knew what he was doing on the economy, and they thought that pre-COVID, the economy was pretty good during his first term. We are seeing warning signs that all of the bottom is about to drop out on all of that. Steve, I know we got to go, but I want to talk about the BLS commissioner and the jobs numbers after the break if we have a moment.
All right, Joe's setting us up for the break. These guys
on the transition there.
Radio. I love it. That's why they're here. Bill and Joe, Kristin and Steve, the Friday edition, point taken on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, remember it's Grandparents' Weekend. It's not as well known as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important. I mean, super important. John Mercure here from WTMJ. Think about those memories. Think about those moments. And then take your mom, dad, and grandparents to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy a great steak, the seafood, the roast duck, even the steak and lobster, or maybe pasta or ribs are more your deal. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts, and I love those, even on Grandparents' Weekend, or buy one, get one free. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with 4 garlic cream stuffed shrimp and all the sides for $66.99. That's for 2 dinners. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. And this Saturday only, check this out, 2 prime rib and shrimp dinners for $66.99. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The fall drive is spectacular. Call, reserve today. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at GeissDoors.com. Geiss has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geiss at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geiss. Visit them online at GeissDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh. and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates.
For second base, and Lockridge is safe. Lockridge steals the bag.
Our Brewers radio network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
But why is the run gone?
Happy Friday, everybody. Point taken. Kristin, Brey, Scaffidi, Bill McCoshen in studio, Joe on the road. All right, Joe, you want to make a point after the break? Go.
Yeah, so after the August release of jobs numbers that were worse than expected, Donald Trump fired within hours the head of BLS because the numbers were so bad, and he said he didn't trust them. His person is now in there in an acting role, and in addition to another lackluster jobs report, they revised further downward the August jobs numbers. And so what you are seeing this administration, and my friends like Bill do, is try to sow doubt and confidence in the numbers themselves. Why? Because they're inconvenient. Does this sound familiar? Yes. They don't like vaccines. They're sowing distrust and disbelief in vaccines. This is dangerous. It is unhealthy when we no longer believe people whose job it is, whose expertise is in things that we are not experts in. And that is a long-term ill to our society and our culture, and of course, our politics. This administration has always had a problem with the truth, and they go back to that playbook time and time again. And it is why people like myself are so frustrated by all of this nonsense out of this White House.
So just to remind the listeners that the numbers from BLS had been bad for 18 months, including a year's worth of revisions under Joe Biden. So there was something wrong with their system, not necessarily that person. And I said that on the air. I don't know that person. I don't know if they were qualified or unqualified. Hard for me to believe that one person could manipulate numbers. But the process or the system they were using had been flawed for some time. And it was time for an upgrade, for sure. But the numbers should be at least a 4-alarm fire for the White House that it's time to focus completely on the economy, because the 26 elections won't be about the big, beautiful bill. They'll be about the economy and how people feel.
Well, and that's what you said before. You're like, they should be laser focused on the economy. From my vantage point, it does not seem like they are focused on the economy really at all. Like, out of all of the things that changing the Department of Defense to the Department of War, the tariffs, the immigration,
it doesn't create
the
any
security.
jobs.
It does, and
Right.
that's what I'm saying. As
And
far
that
as
should
like
be the
the
driving
focus, the focus does not seem to be helping working people.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I think this administration, particularly as a Republican, has been done more than any I can remember focusing on working people since Reagan. Reagan had Reagan Democrats, including my father.
What do you feel like they've done so far, specifically that's helped working people?
In the big, beautiful bill, the doubling of the child tax credit, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Those all help working
Which people
more than
haven't
anybody else.
But there's also caps on
They
that.
haven't, correct.
There's
They
also
won't
caps
experience that
on
till
the.
next year.
There's lots of like that's kind of a more of a branding thing than what the reality is going to end up being for the no tax on tips.
I don't think so. There is a cap on it, no question about that, and hopefully over time that gets increased. But I think the average taxpayer is going to have about $3,200 in benefit, and if that number's wrong, I'll send it into the show, and you can put the real number up. But there is a real number if you Google it.
The president lost on tariffs, sort of. His efforts, his changes are still in effect until the Supreme Court rules on this. He's asked for that decision, which basically said, no, you don't have the power to do this, to be expedited to the Supreme Court. We only have about 30 seconds. Do you think the Supreme Court will rule in his favor, yes or no?
I think sort of shaky economic numbers actually help him with the Supreme Court. Do they want to be the ones that tip over the economy?
Joe, quickly.
They can't rule in his favor. There's no emergency. Congress has a role to play. This is insane. Of course they have to vote it down.
Until they don't.
Until they don't.
I asked the question for a reason, because they've surprised us in the past. All right, we got lots more to talk about in our remaining 30 minutes with Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist, Joe Zepecki on the Democratic side of the aisle from Washington, D.C., big timer in Washington, D.C. Weather is warm. But is it sunny at least?
Yes.
All right. Nothing better than D.C. in the sunshine. I tell you, that's a pretty picture. All right, we got local news with the one, the only Connie Weber. Before we get to any of that, and the guys, here's the latest from ABC News.
ABC
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Today's jobs report from the Labor Department shows more signs of weakness. Only 22,000 jobs were created last month, much lower than the 75,000 that we'd been expecting. There were some bright spots, though, says ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
Once again, it's healthcare. We saw a decent number of jobs added there, but it was almost completely offset by another loss in federal government jobs. Government jobs down about 92,000 since the beginning of the year.
475 people detained during an immigration raid at a Georgia Hyundai plant. South Korea says a large number of those taken in were South Korean. Israel struck a high-rise building in Gaza today. The IDF says it gave an evacuation warning in Gaza City beforehand. Satellite imagery showed a large number of tents nearby where people who had fled other parts of the city were living. Google slapped with a $3.5 billion fine for breaching the European Union's competition rules. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Former Milwaukee police officer Martin East McDaniel sentenced to 6 years in prison for abusing his infant daughter. In January of 2023, an ambulance was called when the 2-month-old wasn't breathing. The baby was found with a brain injury, hemorrhaging, rib fractures, and other injuries. The 32-year-old McDaniel pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of child abuse. Man who Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan allegedly helped evade ICE officials has agreed to be deported. The Journal Sentinel reports Eduardo Flores Ruiz pled guilty to illegally re-entering the U.S. after he was first deported to Mexico in 2013. The 32-year-old will leave the country at the end of any prison term he's sentenced to next month. He still faces 3 counts of misdemeanor battery in state court with the trial set for next month. One of Wisconsin's top aviation companies may be selling a majority of its shares at a potential acquisition. Air Wisconsin's indirect parent company, Harbor Diversified, signaled to the Federal Securities and Exchange Commission in a recent filing that it was pursuing its intention to sell off company assets, operations, and carrier certificate to a company based in Florida. The airline itself informed all 253 employees of an impending workforce reduction plan that could take place starting in late October. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 256 points, 45,364. The Nasdaq down 71 at 21,636. S&P 500 down 33 points at 6,468. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We had a crash that was blocking the right shoulder. I-94 West at 35th Street. It looks like that has been cleared off. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly sunny, windy, cool today, high 63. Overnight low tonight around 47. Much the same tomorrow. Again, a high 63 under partly cloudy skies and some breezes. Sunny on Sunday, high 65. Sunny on Monday, high 71. Tuesday, partly sunny with just a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower. High Tuesday, 74. 56 in Madison, 53 in Green Bay, 57 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
Get your exterior painting to-dos done easily with Dutch Boy Pristine Exterior Paint. With its rain rinse technology, rain naturally washes away dirt and grime. Plus, it resists cracking and peeling, making it perfect to withstand the harshest weather conditions. Save big money on Pristine Exterior Paint and start your painting project today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Winding it up on a Friday for you with Bill McCosh and Joseph Peck. You always enjoy the conversation. Kristen's
and the text. There's some juicy ones in there today.
Some we can read, some we can't read. And just sort of an idea, give you an idea what that feels like. Everybody gets blasted. Everybody gets praised. A lot of very thoughtful comments. A lot of ones that's like, what the hell's wrong with Joe? What the hell's wrong with Bill?
Someone called Bill a weirdo?
Yeah, a lady called you a weirdo. I assume it was a lady. Maybe not. Call him a weirdo. Let's go local. Let's go statewide. Tom Tiffany, there was a story in the Journal Sentinel yesterday, the day before, on his reach out to President Trump. He talked to him about whether or not Trump would, I guess, endorse him in the race for governor next year. It was mostly characterized as sort of a lukewarm, yeah, I like you, but I'm not going to endorse you at this moment. And is that how you saw it?
Yeah, I didn't think the story was particularly favorable to Tom because it said he had met with the White House, didn't quite get the green light he was looking for, at least not in the first meeting. And so I was like, why have that story then? Why would you put that out there? Because it looks like you swung and missed. But I did a little research on that last night, and he may not have swung and missed. But the whole Trump thing for him, I've said this on the air, and I will continue to believe this. Whoever Trump endorses in the Wisconsin gubernatorial GOP primary will win. Full stop. They will win the primary. They will win the primary.
Yeah, that I don't doubt.
But timing is going to be important on that. If you look at the Eric Hovde race, for example, he did not have a primary. Democrats began to define him in February and spent at least $25 to $30 million defining him before the August primary. His favorable, unfavorable was well upside down because of the work they did. If Tom Tiffany clears the field because he gets this endorsement too soon, that's going to happen to him. So can he defend for 8-9 months before he can actually get up and go on offense? And Tom's not a great fundraiser. I've said that before, too.
When you say he's not a great fundraiser, what does that mean?
Well,
like what makes a good fundraiser versus not being a good fundraiser?
Congressionally, Brian Stile has $3.5 million in the bank. Tom Tiffany has $126,000.
That's a big difference.
It's a pretty big difference.
And is that just like not wanting to pick up the phone? Is it not being well connected? Is it not being very persuasive?
He might say that there isn't a lot of money in northern Wisconsin. That's false. There's a lot of money in northern Wisconsin. And by the way, a congressman should be able to raise money statewide and outside of the state if you're on key committees. Sean Duffy used to raise money from all over the country when he was the congressman from the 7th. So it's a matter of making the time and making the calls.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right, so we have Berrien, we have Showman, Josh Showman, Washington County executive, Bill Berrien, local businessman, and then Tiffany. Tiffany's not fully in yet. Will we have other Republicans, you think, or is that it?
Still too early to tell, but if the Trump endorsement happens, I'd say no. There won't be anyone else that gets in.
Who's the toughest candidate of those three, do you think, in a race?
Well, Governor Evers today in the Journal Sentinel talked about two of the three. He didn't talk about Bill Berrien, but he said he wanted to run against Tiffany, and the one he feared was Josh Showman, the Washington County executive, because of Josh's government experience. So today was a pretty good day for Josh Showman. He's been to all 72 counties already. He's certainly working his tail off. He's not breaking out of the pack at this point in time. Like Trevor McGill, I think he's got a fastball, but he needs a splitter, he needs a sinker, he needs a curveball, he needs a little more on the issue side to break through. And we'll see how that goes. On the Berrien side, I still don't know where his base is. Who is Bill Berrien's base, and how does he get through this quagmire with the White House on his past support for Nikki Haley?
In any of his media appearances that is winning fans?
None. And the lane that he could have come up was sort of, I won't call it anti-Trump, but anybody but Trump. And he chose not to go to that lane. The advertising he's run so far has complimented Trump and talked about Trump and tried to connect himself to Trump. So I think that's straining his authenticity and credibility with voters, and so far that campaign, I don't think they've had a good day yet.
All right, Joseph Pecky in Washington, D.C. How about the other side of the aisle? What's going on there?
Well, let me say first, this might come as news to folks, but Bill might be my favorite Republican, but he's not my only Republican friend. And another very smart Republican friend of mine has a theory, which is that because the Wiles operation, Susie Wiles running the White House, that their political operation is tight enough that they are going to likely wait into any Wisconsin GOP primary that includes Tom Tiffany until they know who's going to win. That this could go for a while. We have seen this before where Trump doesn't give endorsements until somebody's up by 20 points in the polls. And then he says, they won because they had my support, right? And so
there's a lot of truth to that. You can use Brad Schimmel's campaign as a great example.
Yeah. So on the Democratic side, I think the next couple of weeks we're going to see more candidates. I certainly expect David Crowley, especially after his comments on Altoona, to make it official. I expect Kelda Roys to make it official. If Josh Call makes a decision in the next couple of weeks, I would be surprised. I think his timeline is a little bit longer because of the money he has in the bank that he can transfer to a gubernatorial run. He's got some time because of the name ID and the money that he has.
And that was going to be my question for both sides, as far as the importance or need to announce in September or October when it comes to fundraising. Like, what are the rules around that would change the timeline?
It's less rules than it is the way it impacts perception. Okay. And we are already in, for Wisconsin politicians, a 6-month reporting period that ends December 31st that they will then have to announce in January. So, every day that goes by is one less day to raise. But even if you get in at the end of this month, you have a full 3 months to try and break out and show a good number in January.
But if you get in this calendar year, you have to post a number north of 7 figures on December 31st, or you'll be viewed as that campaign's not viable.
Got it.
He is Bill McConcha, Joseph Pecky, Kristin, Brey, Steve Scaffidi on point taken after the break. A lot of people love this segment. I do too. Say something nice. I actually have a good one this week. I hope someone doesn't steal it. That's next on 620 WTMJ.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. So you filed your return and owe the IRS money you can't pay, or you haven't filed a return for years because you are afraid you will owe the IRS. Whether it is income taxes, payroll taxes, or sales tax, we can help. Often we can file back tax returns and get your refund. We negotiate payment plans with the IRS or settle with the IRS for sometimes pennies on the dollar. We get the interest and penalties reduced, which are many times greater than the original tax owed because so much time has passed. Stop the sleepless nights and worrying they will wipe out your bank account and garnish your wages. Your situation will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 414-325-2040, or visit neogroup.net. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi here from Milwaukee Weight Loss. I'm back in the reduction phase. I got my goal, 10 more pounds before the end of the year. I started the journey in January, lost 40 pounds, still at that rate, and feeling great, stronger, more confident. So Milwaukee Weight Loss helped me lose the weight without any of the crazy workout stuff, the prepackaged meals, injections, shots, all that stuff. None of that. Just real results that have lasted now for many months. It resets your metabolism. That's the key, I think. The weight comes off and stays off. It's doctor-developed and natural and has helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks, and then you keep it off. Many patients, like me, I've lost 40. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds just a month or two. Ready to stop your yo-yo dieting and finally take control. There's a smarter, faster, and safer way to reach your goals. That's with Milwaukee Weight Loss and their incredible team, and their coaches are outstanding. Trust me. Schedule your free consultation today. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334. That's 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Steinhafels has extended their Labor Day sale and they're celebrating the Packers. Save 10% off store-wide and score a $100 Packers gift card when you spend over $1,999. Steinhafels, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Shop in-store or at steinhafels.com.
I know why you continue to live in pain.
It's because you don't believe anything can be done to help. Maybe you bought into something and you've been burned before. I mean, your skepticism, it's understandable. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we use powerful, anti-inflammatory, and cushioning pharmacological medicines to ease your pain. They're FDA approved, and most medical insurance is going to pay for our treatments, including Medicare and Medicaid. And that's the litmus test. Because if insurance has shown to cover the cost of many of our patients' treatments, you can be sure it's valid medicine. It's not a biological treatment considered experimental, or some new gimmick that's trying to hook you. The Rejuvenex approach to pain relief is legitimate. It helps to alleviate pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. And from what we've seen, it gives people a new lease on their lives.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to
Say something nice!
about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now. Smile.
That's a great song. I love that song.
It's a good song.
Different era, but
segment.
still good. And I love the segment, too. And it is one of our more popular segments.
I've missed the last 2 Fridays. Has everyone played by the rules?
Well, we fudged them a
I
little bit.
I stretched it last week.
I did
My
too.
Taylor Swift.
I
one.
did too.
Yeah.
You told me you were going to say that one. I was like, she's not a politician.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph Pecky.
She's an influencer.
Give me something nice, Joseph Pecky.
I'm going to say something nice about a woman I met last night, Rena Shah, who used to be a Republican political operative, and because of Trump, left the party. She still identifies as center-right and has found other ways to make a living and make an impact. Lovely conversation with Rena. It was great to meet her and get to know her. Some folks may know that name from her appearances on CNN, including last night. So great to meet you, Rena. She proves that Republicans can, in fact, move beyond Trump and have a life.
And have a life.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
I'm going to say something nice about New York Congressman Jerry Nadler.
Oh, yeah.
The guy whose pants go up to his armpits.
That is true. Look at
That's
it.
not
Google that
nice.
stuff.
Looks a little like Humpty Dumpty, just saying.
Right.
Jerry Nadler announced last week, much to the surprise of just about everyone on Capitol Hill, that he would not seek re-election in 2026. Jerry Nadler is 78 years old. I've been sort of a broken record on this. I think people in their late 70s and 80s ought to be with their grandkids, great-grandkids, enjoying their wife or partner, walking on a beach somewhere, and not members of Congress. Is it ageist? Sure, but I've never been a super big fan of term limits, and I don't think we need people who've been in Congress for 30 to 40 or even 45 years. So kudos to Jerry Nadler for walking away and saying it was time to pass the baton.
That's a good one. Mine goes, this is a surprising one, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, are you stealing mine?
Oh, is that yours?
Well, mine was going to be Tom Massey.
Okay, well, same subject, but
Yeah.
I have been a strong critic, and I still think she's
Yes,
been
you have.
she's been a dingbat for a long time. But she stood there with those Epstein
Yeah.
victims.
She did.
I give people mad respect when they, and it can't have been comfortable because she's a huge supporter of Donald Trump. Although
Yeah.
she's been pushing back a little bit lately. That can't be easy, but she did it anyway. And as a woman, obviously, she should understand why that's important. But as a elected representative, as a Republican, that's a big moment for her. So I'm going to give her my say something nice. I think she earned it.
Mine was the same for Representative Massey, and his brigade that he's charging is trying to get these files released and is vowing to use immunity afforded to members of Congress under the speech and debate clause to publicly read a list if the victims come up with their own list. And so that takes, I think, a lot of courage because it sounds like the White House
they
is
said
putting,
they would do.
The White House is putting a lot of pressure on him, and he is not budging.
That's a pretty crisp version of the Say Something Nice.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page on that now. We finally figured out all the bells and whistles. All right. After the break, we always end it with the grab bag. I've got a good one. I'm sure the other guys do, and Kristin as well. We'll do that after this final segments of the McCaution Zepecki Hour today on 620 WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like up to $60 off 12-volt GPI fuel transfer pumps, $30 off select Kurt trailer hitches, including special orders, 1.5 amp Schumacher battery maintainers, $27.99. Plus, Fall Chick Days start Friday, September 5th with freshly hatched layer chicks and meat birds. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I believe in aliens, ghosts, and UFOs, but I don't believe you.
Huh?
I'm convinced the Earth is flat and the moon landing was faked.
Okay.
But when you say Hasselus Mattress don't have no employees, well, that's just crazy talk.
It's true. Hasselus Mattress showrooms are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Okay, sure. You probably think birds are real, too.
All I know is that our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next day delivery, too.
Do these mattresses come from Area 51?
We're talking big names like Sealy Posturepedic and Beautyrest.
And who's supporting your operation? The Illuminati?
If you need support, through Monday, get a free adjustable base with any new mattress.
That's what the lizard people told you to say.
Save on Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more. And get a free adjustable base through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hasselus.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
From family barbecue to quiet mornings, a new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to our Outdoor Living Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Analyzing the news from the perspective of those in the field. Hey, it's WTMJ's Adam Roberts. Join me every Sunday at 10 for Reporter's Notebook, where we take a deeper dive behind the biggest stories of the past week, told from the perspective of the reporters, anchors, and news directors making decisions behind the scenes and covering the stories you hear every single day.
Bringing you the story behind the story. It's Reporter's Notebook, Sunday mornings at 10 on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
All right, Bill McCoshen, you're up first. What you got?
My grab bag this week is a different version of one I used a couple months ago. My Janesville Jets partner, Joe Pavelski, this week was
getting accolades.
Nominated or selected for the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. And the induction ceremony is on September 10th. About 6 weeks ago, I mentioned Joe because he got inducted into the UW Hall of Fame, both very well deserving. My hope is when Joe's eligible in 3 years, he gets inducted into the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. I think he's one of the best American players of all time. Joe's a heck of a guy. He's still a partner in the Janesville Jets. He's going to drop the puck at the new arena on October 3rd. So my salute is to Plover's own Joe Pavelski.
And my personal request is I want to have you and him on my Scaffidi podcast.
Oh, cool.
I think it'd be fascinating.
Yeah, I had him do a radio show on WCLO in Janesville. He killed it. He did great.
I've heard a little bit of him, and yeah, that'd be fun. All right, so Joseph Pecky, what's yours?
Bill, you're my Republican friend. I need you to call your son. Make sure he and the secretary know that I need to arrive back in Milwaukee on time tonight for Friday Night Lights, Whitnall versus Grafton. Both teams have been in the others receiving votes category for the top 10 programs in southeastern Wisconsin, according to the Journal Sentinel. Winner of this game is going to appear in the top 10. We're off to a fast start, but Grafton has bedeviled us every time we played them. Come on out to Whitnall High School tonight, 7 p.m. if you want to see the game of the week. Hope it's a good one. And it's just so exciting to be now in the part of high school football season where school is in session, because the first couple of weeks school hasn't started yet. It's going to be a great environment. If you can't make it to that game tonight, where I will be, go watch some football tonight. 'Tis the season.
And mine goes out to our Congress representatives in Wisconsin. This FEMA thing is starting to drag on.
Yeah, what's the deal?
We got some guys and women who say they have a lot of power in Washington, D.C., and there's definitely a need here. Kristin and I talked about this yesterday, and something should happen here. And I said a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it again, if we don't get this approved, I'm coming after all of you because this is a serious issue, natural disaster in our states. Thankfully, it didn't have a huge loss of life. We did have some people die, which we found out after the fact. Some homeless people that were killed in that flooding. A lot of people don't know that story. Find the Journal Sentinel and Google that. You'll see that. But that number, those dollars, should be approved. And the president, I don't know if you're not pushing hard enough, especially for my Republican congressmen in Wisconsin. Brian Stout saw him over the weekend. Let's go. This is starting to drag out. I'm worried that we're not going to get that funding, and Wisconsin needs it.
All right, mine is from the event last night, the Insiders Journal Sentinel event with Tom Silverstein, who I found out his nickname is Spoon. Did not know that until now. Pete Doherty and Dominique
Silver
Yates.
Spoon?
Nah, it goes back to when he was doing stuff for covering the Badgers for Cap Times, and it was just a name that stuck. One, it is to talk to guys who've been doing their job for 30 plus years, just the stories they have of how the NFL has changed, how the Packers have changed, how even when Pete and Tom first started, they were at rival newspapers. And so that's always really fascinating. And I am very happy to report that from their veteran status and sleuthing, they're very much not worried about Micah Parsons back.
Ooh, that's good to hear.
Not really
exciting
worried
stuff.
at all.
We'll be there
Bill
Sunday.
will be at the game Sunday. I'll be at the game Sunday. Don't forget to catch me on pregame, Packers pregame, ESPN 94.5. I'm doing the first hour and a half with Gabe Neitzel and our friend Alex Strofe
Who
of
you
the
got?
show.
Who do you got winning?
I got the Packers. Who
Same.
you got? Yeah?
Packers.
Packers.
Joe?
Obviously, come on.
Well, sometimes you go negative. I don't know.
Angry Joe.
Joe, safe travels back. Bill, same for you. Kristin, we'll stick around for another hour, I think.
I guess we have to.
Apparently, there's stuff to talk about. News is next.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, surprise! Colders is extending their Labor Day sale for one more week. WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you missed out over Labor Day weekend, now's your chance to shop their guaranteed best deals and extra savings store-wide. Save big on everything you need for your home. Furnitures, appliances, mattresses. Only for a limited time at Colders. Save 60% on furnitures and mattresses, then take an additional 10% off. Wow. Use code WEEKEND10 at checkout in-store or online to save an extra 10% on sofas, sectionals, dining tables, bed bedroom sets, mattresses, and more. Shopping for appliances? For a limited time, only during Kohlder's extended Labor Day weekend sale, save an extra 5% on kitchen and laundry appliances from all your favorite brands. Use code WEEKEND5 at checkout. Discover Kohlder's better selection, better experience, best value guaranteed during the extended Labor Day weekend sale before it's gone. Check it out at one of their 4 convenient locations or shop online at Kohlder's.com.
Step up to quality furniture. Get more for your money at Kohlder's.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11 o'clock, we're at 57 degrees, partly sunny, windy, cooler today with a high 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Sluggish jobs report out today that could indicate the health of the economy and whether the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates later this month. ABC's Alexis Christoforous with the numbers.
The job market is starting to show signs of weakness. It's starting to crack, and I think today's report doesn't really give us a lot of redemption. I mean, 22,000 jobs added nationwide last month, much lower than about the 80,000 we were expecting. And remember, last year, month over month, we were adding about 153,000 jobs. So there has been this huge slowdown.
The unemployment rate rose slightly to 4.3%. Taking action against street takeovers in the city of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee leaders outlined their latest push to crack down on street takeovers across the city. Mayor Cavalier Johnson called the gatherings disruptive and dangerous, saying they put both participants and bystanders at risk. He said the city is working with police and the Public Works Department to stop the takeovers and hold organizers accountable. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman added that officers will continue using targeted operations to break up events before they begin. And Mayor Johnson closed by urging the community, if you know someone involved in these takeovers, tell them to stop and hold them accountable before another tragedy happens. At City Hall, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Officials plan to impose a $500 citation for anyone involved in the takeovers. Nearly a month after the historic flooding hit southeast Wisconsin, residents still anxiously waiting for federal aid as a presidential disaster declaration remains pending. Mayor Johnson tells WTMJ.
At the end of the day, whether they're in Milwaukee, in the region, elsewhere in Wisconsin, these are American citizens who need assistance, who need help from their federal government and ultimately from their president, because it's the president that ultimately makes the decision here. So I'm hopeful that'll be heeded by the White House, and the people who need help, who need assistance here, will get it.
Governor Evers requested a disaster declaration from President Trump last week. The president expected to sign an executive order today that aims to rename the Department of Defense as the Department of War. That's according to multiple reports. Trump hinted at a name change while talking to reporters last month in the Oval Office. Changing the name likely requires an act of Congress, but it will make the Department of War its secondary title. New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed an executive order today allowing pharmacists to provide COVID shots to anyone who wants it.
Executive order declaring a disaster in the state of New York due to federal actions related to vaccine access.
The EO comes after the FDA approved the updated shots only for older and high-risk Americans and the CDC vaccine. The CDC is approaching its 80th anniversary, the agency responsible for breakthroughs against malaria, polio, HIV, and more. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston tells Wisconsin's Midday News about the disease detectives of the mid-20th century.
It's called the Epidemic Intelligence Service, EIS. These experts traveled the country, eventually traveled the world, to track, study, and stop infectious disease in real time. So over decades, the CDC grew in its capacity. It built global partnerships and really became the gold standard for outbreak response, for epidemiology training, and for public health data.
Today, the CDC also helps track local risks like Lyme disease and toxic air emissions. World War II veterans honored at a Brewers game.
I was one of the few women in the shop, so we always had a good time. And the men, of course, were very kind.
Over 30 World War II veterans were honored at the Brewers home game on Thursday.
It was nice. The fellows were all eager to teach you whatever you needed to know.
Feng Shao Scholes was one of the original Rosie the Riveters. She tells WTMJ.
I was really surprised. This is really an honor.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Scholes is 99 years old. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow down 274 points. NASDAQ down 75. S&P 500 down 36. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:04.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for QC Kinetics. I love talking about QC Kinetics because I'm actually a patient, not just a spokesperson. They have helped me deal with my elbow pain. So I had some slight injury, maybe a muscle tear. Tennis elbow is how people typically describe it. I went to QC Kinetics, talked to Dr. Ashley Caravelli, and she said, you know what, we can do this in a different way. No surgery, no pain meds, regenerative treatment. I asked what that means. Cellular treatments. Helps your body heal, restore the damage in my joint, in this case my elbow, helps to heal and restore. And after 3 treatments, got 2 more to go this fall. No surgery, no drugs. It already feels better. The movement is incredible. I can move easy. I don't have the pain I had even opening a door with my left hand. No surgery, no drugs. They can help you answer the problem you're having with your pain. Find out if you're a good candidate for QC Kinetics. Call today, 414-285-3474. Answer your pain issues, 414-285-3474.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers lost to the Phillies 2-0 in their series finale. Milwaukee back on the road tonight to face the Pirates. Badgers will play on their home field this weekend, facing off with Middle Tennessee on Saturday. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Packers open the regular season Sunday at home against the Detroit Lions. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a developing story. Sheboygan police have closed traffic on South Business Drive from Washington Avenue to Wilson Avenue. They are responding to a critical incident there. You should avoid this area as police investigate. Again, this is closure on South Business Drive from Washington to Wilson. We'll provide more details as they become available. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly sunny, windy, cool today with a high 63. Overnight low tonight 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, cool tomorrow. Same high 63. Sunny and 65 Sunday. Sunny, a little warmer on Monday with a high 71. Partly sunny Tuesday, a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower, high 74. 56 in Madison, 53 in Green Bay, 57 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
What's in a name, Steve? Do you feel different when you go by Steven versus Steve? You feel more polished?
I feel like I'm getting
more English?
I think I'm getting yelled at. Probably is what's coming next.
All right, so the Department of Defense versus the Department of War.
I feel safer already.
I know you're being sarcastic, but do you
Yes.
I think truly, because branding is powerful, marketing is powerful.
Sure, I worked in marketing.
Words matter. Does this make a big enough difference to the general public that it is worth the effort of doing it?
No one cares. I don't care what it's called. Show me what your work product is. This is silly, stupid stuff. And I don't know if you want to have me jump right into why I think this is one of the reasons, many reasons it's stupid, is all we've been talking about for the first 6 months is efficiency of government, DOGE, how we're going to save money. And I tweeted this out this morning, and I still call them tweets, and I still call it Twitter, that all this is doing is whatever theoretical savings you think you got from DOGE, which I think are imaginary and more optimistic thinking than you probably should be thinking about that whole subject. This costs money when you do this. Anytime you rebrand, everything from envelopes to you name it, it's going to, and for this, it's going to cost billions of dollars.
Did you see an estimate?
I saw billions. That's all I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. Billions of dollars for a name change. Why in the would we do that?
Well, because, so I looked this up. I think Washington Post wrote about it because not necessarily history buff, but always love to learn history when there's to contextualize things. Because back in June and July, Trump referred to Pete Hegseth as his Secretary of War, saying that the name of the department had been changed as a result of political correctness. Now, that is not true. Apparently, so it was originally renamed the Department of Defense under President Truman after World War II. So according to the National Security Scholars and records from the administration of President Truman, after World War II ended in 1945, Truman orchestrated a broad reorganization of the old War Department, which became the Defense Department in 1949, to improve efficiency in national security and cohesion among the Army and Navy, which had been under independent government departments prior to that. So there was more of a reason than just, I like the sound of the name to be different. But I think also back then, when I read a little bit further in that article, was after the horrors of World War II, it still was a little bit of branding. They're like, maybe it sounds a little less aggressive to call it the Department of Defense versus the Department of War.
Yeah, and that's sort of an interesting little take on that, because what did this president say to us? He's not a fan of war.
I know.
But here we have his secretary.
But he is a fan of looking strong.
Oh, he loves that. He loves to flex.
And so, but this goes back to when the first hour when Bill was here, is the laser focus on the economy is just not true. There are so many other pet projects like this that feel like it doesn't move the needle at all. And it creates a headline, and it creates, potentially the optics of looking stronger of some sort. And maybe Pete Hegseth gets to be called the Secretary of War, but it's not helping the average person at all.
No, it's a word game. It's one of the things that, again, this will be forgotten in this. Congress does this, not the president. But like many things in this administration, the president thinks he can do it. He'll sign this afternoon an executive order saying this very thing. I don't know what the number is up to now, but I mean, it's over 100, right? Executive orders and actions. It's like, what are we doing here? This has changed government forever.
Do you think there'll be a lawsuit?
Yeah, there'll be a lawsuit because there's hundreds of lawsuits.
Because it's supposed to be by Congress, right? Because it's a department that was created through that governing body, and so it's supposed to go through that. So I don't know who would bring the lawsuit, but because what we didn't talk about, it was much besides the tariffs, is that it was not a great week for lawsuits from President Trump.
No, he's lost on almost every account. Now, it's going to come to a head. I just watched a great Frontline on this, and I encourage you to find it. It's Trump and the Rule of Law.
It's very good. I haven't finished it yet, but it is very, very good.
And as much as people say, oh, that's PBS, it's biased, they talk to Steve Bannon, lawyers for the president.
Megyn Kelly's on there.
Everybody's
John
on
Yoo,
there.
who is like the preeminent lawyer dating back to the Bush administration.
Absolutely.
When it comes to the Unitary
idea of presidential powers.
I forgot what the term is. But like consolidating more power. That was what was interesting, again, with the history lesson of post-Nixon, the stripping back of some presidential powers.
Yeah, for good reason.
For good reason.
Right.
And then after 9/11, specifically with John Yoo,
brought it back,
wanting to put more power back into the executive branch, and really doubling down with Trump right now as far as what that tug is between the power of the three branches.
So, I mean, if I'm going to sum this up, this is nothing, but it's going to it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's a waste of our time and energy. It's a waste of money, and it will cost at least $1 billion, if not billions of dollars to do this, because every envelope, every piece of stationery, whatever you do, every piece of branding and building signs, little signs going into parking lots at the Department of War, all that stuff has to be changed over time. Billions of dollars, because we know how the government spends money like a drunken whatever, fill in the blank. This is stupidity. It is not efficient. There's no need for it. But it's just one more example of how we're wasting time on things that aren't critically important. And going back to your point about the economy, this president at some point is going to be smacked in the face by the impact of his economy on all those individual household budgets. And people are getting super off about this. And I can tell you, insurance is costing more, groceries costing more.
Energy costs more.
Everything is costing more. And this is 6 months in. Now
and he can't own all of that, right? Like, these were trends that have been happening, but there is not a laser focus, to use Bill's term, on making it easier for people.
And this is something that I think will be talked about. We said it in the first hour. It will be talked about more and more. Even Bill's acknowledging that. The president can lose on this issue. More importantly, his party can lose on the issue. Because what do we know? Midterms happening next year. That emphasis on personal budgets and the economy has to be the centerpiece if you're trying to take down both sides of Congress, Senate, and the House. They're vulnerable. The president's vulnerable. On this one, this is just plain out stupid. Lots more to get to. Second hour. Point taken. Kristin, Steve, 620 WTMJ.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Don't miss Ringo Starr and his all-star band coming to the Miller High Life Theater on Friday, September 12th. The legend has been one of the world's brightest luminaries since the beginning of the Beatles' reign over pop culture. His warmth and humor are enchanting and contagious, manifesting in songs we know and love. Don't miss out on seeing this musical icon live. Tickets are on sale now at papstheatergroup.com or tune in to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on September 10th and 11th for your chance to win.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates.
For second base, and Lockridge is safe. Lockridge steals the bag.
Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
But why is the run gone?
Yeah.
What is it good for? Absolutely.
I think we just answered that question. It's a waste of time and energy and money on changing that name.
This is still a great song, though.
It is a great song. Edwin Starr.
Rush Hour.
I did not
know
the
name.
name.
Was it Rush Hour like 96, 97? Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker.
Right. But Edwin Starr,
Whoa.
he wrote for the Temptations, too, which, I mean, that's A-list talent there. I put this in the lineup because I think it's an interesting one. I was just talking to my daughter, Chrissy. She's been called back to the office from remote work. And she enjoyed that for like a long period of time, like more than a year, a couple of years.
Well, I would imagine since COVID, it's been like 5 years.
Yeah, well, she changed jobs in that time. But yeah, but her new company, so she's been called back. And I saw the story about Paramount now. They're bringing their employees back 5 days a week. And this is anecdotal because I haven't had a chance to really dig deep on all the companies and what they're doing, but I've heard rumblings from friends who are still working that they're now required to be in the office. I know Madison has some employers that have sort of brought people back after years of remote work. I was just curious what you thought about this because I think this trend I don't think is going away. I think they want people back in their offices, which, by the way, they pay a lot of money to outfit.
To have offices?
To have offices, the rent, the furniture, the desks, the software, all that stuff.
I think there's something to be said as far as the expectation is you're back at work, but we also have flexibility for your schedule of if you need to take a doctor's appointment, if you need to leave early to get your kids, if there's still the access. Because the truth is, depending on what your job is, I don't know about you, but we now can work way past being in the office.
Sure.
Right? And
we do a lot of work away from the office.
Yeah, exactly. And so I do think we are social creatures. And this goes back to kind of the trend of what I'm saying. I've said this about AI. I have said this about social media. Like, there is a convenience factor that in the moment I think feels better. The convenience of not having to commute, not having to pack a lunch, also the cost saving of those things. But I don't think it's good to be isolated like that. And I have a family member who the convenience of being remote for the first 4-ish years, she had moved back to Milwaukee, was great. And then she got a new job because they had called her back, and it was going to be in Northern Illinois. And she's like, I'm not driving. I got a kid. I'm not driving in Northern Illinois every day. And so she had to look for a new job. And now she has a job where she has to go into the office every day. And it's in Milwaukee. And just her spirit of actually engaging with people every day and making friends in the office, it's just different. It's different than being on Slack. It's different than being on Teams. And I know it's easy for me to say because I'm an extrovert. I like chit-chatting with people. I like that kind of camaraderie. And I know it's not always the most efficient because people say they get more work done when they're not being bothered by other people. But I just think there is something that we are communal creatures, that things happen. It's a better environment when you are in person than trying to do like projects via Slack and Teams, I think. And so I get it. And there's a trade-off of the convenience, but I do understand that there is a lot of value in actually being in person and working together as a team.
Yeah, and if you have a thought on this, if you're experiencing either being called back or you're still living the remote life, 855-616-1620, deciding unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text. I'd love to hear from you. So I'm somebody who loves the social piece of work. You know this.
Yeah, we're the same.
Yeah, we're exactly the same, I think, because we always greet people. We're always getting into conversations that have nothing to do with our show.
It distracts me from my show prep, but it's
fun.
It's very fun.
I'm a nuisance to her in the mornings because
I'm actually trying to like read and have the facts available for what we're going to talk about.
Right.
You're like, I don't need that.
So for me, it's a game now because I want to get you off. But it's like we also work with people that are complete introverts, and they put the headphones. I see these people, and I'm like, I don't think I know some people are like that. I don't think that's a good thing where you completely shut down.
I don't want to judge that as far as
I'm judging it. I don't like it.
That's to each their own. But I do. But I think because I think miscommunication happens. I think I said this the other day. My friend that worked for her manager was like, if there's ever back and forth via text, via Slack, via email, more than 3 times, pick up the phone.
Absolutely.
Because the miscommunication that is happening, it'll be faster if you just talk to one another than try to write it out in corporate speak and sounding not passive-aggressive or should I add an exclamation point or should I not add an exclamation point? Should I add an emoji so they don't know I'm mad? Just pick up the phone.
Relationships. There's often I read what Kathy writes or she reads and it's like, are you mad at me? It's like, no, I just had like 3 seconds to type this and I'm like just getting it out.
You ever get an okay with a period at the end?
Oh, yeah.
She's mad. If you get that, she's
okay
mad.
With a period is mad.
Okay with a period?
How would you rate this
happy.
response? Sure.
What's the context?
Like, you want to go this place? Sure. It's like not enthusiastic. I like an enthusiastic. See, I'm like an enthusiastic texter. I'm not a huge texter, but when I'm coming at you, I'm going to be all in. I'm excited about the exchange. That's me.
No, I definitely get a sure from you. Do you want to talk about this tomorrow? Sure.
That means I'm not excited.
Okay, so then this is you projecting
so
what
you learned something about
you
me
mean
today.
when you say sure.
Yeah, that sure is not my top thing. Awesome is my top thing. If you get an awesome from me, that's like, I'm all in on this. Let's go.
Okay.
So awesome, sure. No response is, of course, the worst. Does that make you mad when you text and they don't answer? Like, I don't like that.
When they don't respond at all?
Yeah, that's cold.
I guess that doesn't happen to me very often.
That's the digital version of
ghosting.
Yeah, right?
Being left on red. That's actually what it's actually called.
I don't like that. That bothers me. Or if I say hi to someone that I know and they don't say hi back, like, what's your problem? I don't care how bad your day is. You can greet someone.
All right. Should we bring it back to the topic?
What was the topic again?
The topic was going back to work.
I'm in favor of this. Big time. Put me in the yes camp.
I do think I still think hybrid, giving the option for hybrid, giving the option for flexibility, I think is good.
Flexibility to stay at home or flexibility to have shift as your hours, be able to get off when you want to. That's the one you're talking about, right?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's like it's not a big deal if you have to work from home one day or if you have to leave early. Like there is still something about getting the work done, but I think there is a lot of value in working as a team in person, both individually for the social aspect of it and for the actual work product.
I'm still going to go.
Some people might disagree.
Yeah.
But.
Well, if you disagree, 855-616-1620. Got a lot of comments already. We'll talk about podcasts a little bit, too, in the remaining time we have today. And then this decision by the president, actually Sean Duffy, Department of Transportation, to screw all of us who fly a lot. Not happy about that. So we're gonna take up that cause after this on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, did you know it's Grandparents' Weekend? I know, not as popular as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your mom, your dad, your grandparents to the amazing Mind Chef family restaurant in Hartford. The Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. You'll pay double for that at other restaurants. The Saturday steak or prime rib dinner with all the sides are both under $25. Desserts, I love their desserts, are buy one, get one free. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Mind Chef is super affordable. It's family friendly. You'll love the Friday all-you-can-eat $7.99 haddock fish fry serving from 10:30. Arrive early. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mind Chef. The Mind Chef's in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve your grandparents' weekend table now. Google the Mind Chef restaurant.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Did you know, according to research, a majority of people gain their weight back after stopping those expensive weight loss shots? Don't become another statistic. The doctor-developed Milwaukee weight loss program doesn't just help you lose weight, it helps you keep it off for good. We've helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks and maintain the results long-term. No more yo-yo dieting or weight regain. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi here. After a summer in the maintenance phase, feeling great, looking great. I'm back in reduction mode with the goal to lose 10 more pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss. That means I'll have lost 50 pounds, yes, 50 pounds since January. The best part, none of the intense workouts, none of the meals, kits, or shakes, no meds, no injections. Many patients see 20 to 30 pounds. I saw 40 plus come off in just a month or two. You can do it. I did it. Book your free consultation today at 262-393-2334 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back September 9th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Texas Rangers.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in September 9th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Sometimes the texters just make us laugh out loud. And that just happened in studio. Read that text.
Oh, Bob, thanks. So Bob texts, "Hi, Steve. Good show today. You were correct a few months ago when you told me to give Kristin a chance. She is fine." Fine. Is the fine and sure about the same?
No, I think that's better than that.
I will keep listening.
It's Bob.
Thanks,
on the text.
Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I don't remember the conversation, but one of the reasons that we love doing this show, and it's a we,
Yes, yeah.
because we're friends and we love our conversation. We have more conversations away from the show than we do on the show. And the cool thing, this is inside baseball, but Bill McCutcheon and Joseph Pecky, you and I have daily conversations, text conversations that go all day and all night.
Yeah.
Basically on everything, from fun stuff to serious stuff to sometimes we get mad at each other and sometimes we just laugh. So this is a good thing. And this is me promoting us again, and marketing the show. This is a unique show.
Yes.
In a lot of different ways, many of which are obvious. Age, gender, ideology to some degree. It's a unique show. And we want people to understand that we're trying to do something different and sort of not be an explainer for what's happening in the world of politics and everything else, culture, but we want to have people come into that conversation, and text line is the way they do it. So we always appreciate. We got a ton of texts today on a lot of different things. We want that engagement. We have a good thing. I enjoy it. Kristin enjoys it, and we love the opportunity to come in and talk about some of this stuff because this is big stuff that happens every day. Want to give a shout out to our new podcast. You Need to Listen is out. Easy. Just text LISTEN to 855-616-1620. I'll not warn you, but this one's unplugged.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's very fun, but it is
language.
I don't know if it's the language. It's just we go silly.
Yeah, we got very silly.
We're talking about dating. We're talking about modern dating. We're talking about our dating.
Even though we're not dating.
Like yes, absolutely. Yeah. But so that one's very fun, and then obviously you also can always subscribe to this show as a podcast.
Listen when you want
by just texting point to 855-616-1620, and we'll send you the link to subscribe to that.
And thanks to all of you. We have thousands of listens now on our podcast, and we want to keep growing that. So lots to come on that front. All right, here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. An even more disappointing monthly jobs and unemployment report than last month's. Analysts were expecting employers to add around 75,000 jobs in August. The actual figure was just 22,000, according to the Labor Department. The unemployment rate was expected to hold steady, but it went up to 4.3%. ABC's Alexis Christoforous with one bright spot.
Once again, it's health care. We saw a decent number of jobs added there, but it was almost completely offset by another loss in federal government jobs. Government jobs down about 92,000 since the beginning of the year.
Russian President Putin says that any foreign troops deployed to Ukraine would be considered legitimate targets by Russian forces. At least 450 workers at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia are under arrest after what immigration police call their biggest ever raid. New York joining several states making vaccines more available at pharmacies without a prescription. This is ABC News.
But at WTMJ News Time, 11:31, I'm Connie Weber. A developing story. Sheboygan police have closed northbound traffic on South Business Drive from Washington to Wilson Avenue as they are responding to a critical incident. You should avoid this area as police investigate, and we'll provide more details as soon as they become available. Almost 1,000 days working without a contract. Milwaukee police protesting to settle contract negotiations with the city of Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Police Association says the city has delayed arbitration while they hire new outside legal counsel. 3 fire truck manufacturers, including 2 based in Wisconsin, accused by the city of La Crosse of conspiring to limit supply and drive up prices. Lawsuit alleges Oshkosh Corporation, Rev Group based in Brookfield, and Rosenbaum America LLC worked together to buy out several smaller manufacturers during the Great Recession. Companies' cooperation was organized through their membership with the Fire Apparatus Manufacturers Association, according to the complaint. Both Oshkosh and Rosenbaum have denied the claims. Rev Group has not commented. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is down 271 points at 45,350. NASDAQ off 55, 21,651. S&P 500 down 32 at 6,469. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Again, northbound South Business Drive in Sheboygan closed from Washington Avenue to Wilson as police responding to a critical incident. 794 West at 43 South, right shoulder there blocked due to a broken down vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly sunny, windy, cool today, high 63. Clear and breezy tonight, low 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, cool tomorrow with a high 63. Sunny and 65 on Sunday. Mostly sunny and nice on Monday with a high 71. And Tuesday, partly sunny, slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower with a high of 74. 57 in Madison, 55 in Green Bay, 57 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here, talking about that nagging joint pain. You know the one I mean. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Other times it's just an old injury that just never healed right. You don't even remember when it happened. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops now with QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics can flip the script. It uses regenerative medicine that can help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Doesn't cover it up, doesn't cut it out. It actually helps heal and restore. And the results? Long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around the life you want to live. You're walking the dog without stopping. You're playing ball with your kid until they get tired, not until your knee tells you you're done. QC Kinetics. No surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Call 414-285-3474 for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Welcome back. You didn't go anywhere. You're listening to all those great partner ads. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I always want to reinforce on the show. So our podcast for this show is Points, P-O-I-N-T.
That's what you text to 855-616-1620 to get
Deciding
the link.
Unlimited WTMJ Talking Text Line, 855-616-1620. So we've reinforced that number. So Points is our show that you're hearing today, and it'll be available usually mid-afternoon or later. Listen is You Need to Listen podcast, the fastest growing, hottest podcast in Wisconsin, anecdotally. It's a good one this week. They're all good. I think we've done 16 now.
I think, was this 17?
17, 7, yeah.
Yesterday?
Goes fast.
But we only do it every other week.
Yes. And then Steve is my Scaffidi podcast. I got some really good ones coming up. Our news guys, Adam Roberts and Eric Bilstead, sat down yesterday for one. Oh, fascinating.
What did you guys talk about?
The news business, how they got into it, the story that touched them the most. Not their biggest story, not their craziest story. I had that in my notes, but I like, what impacted you the most? Fascinating. How they this is one that you and I have talked about, how they pick the things that lead their news. And amazing answers. And the reason I picked those two is I have a lot of respect. Two different generations doing sort of the same job, a little bit differently. Adam more newsroom, Eric more of a show.
Well, but Eric's also spent a lot of time in the newsroom.
Eric, and I said in the podcast, Eric brought me to WTMJ, so eternally thankful for that. So that is going to be in a couple weeks. But so mine is Steve, S-T-E-V-E. I believe that's right. Right, Jazz?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are the ways you can find our I encourage you to find them.
Because then you can listen whenever you want.
Well, here's the thing. We always assume everybody listens to the 2 hours.
Do we?
I do.
I don't assume
because
that.
I actually chastise them if they don't. And I've done this on all my shows. You must listen to the 2 hours. If you're going to tune in, you're there for the 2 hours. Put those appointments off. Tell your kids to shut up for a little bit. Listen to the show. Pay attention. Send us feedback if you want to on the text line, 855-616-1620. But I want you to consume. So if you miss something, that's how you go back. And I believe I'm right on this. All of our podcasts, all of our shows, you can go back and find whatever you want to find. All of our great guests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can also go back on the YouTube and watch all of our lives so people can see the faces I make at you when you say crazy things.
And if you're one of those weird people that like Fat Steve more than Thinner Steve, you can find that too. Because the early podcast, it was not a good look. Fat Steve. I was fat shamed. I was.
Were you?
Oh, yes.
That's not very nice.
It's not nice.
Do you think the people who fat shamed you were also fat?
I have no idea because I can't see them. Anyway, look at all the people texting. All right, so this story, we'll tee it up and then we'll get to in the next segment. I fly a lot. You fly quite a bit too. I mean,
I fly less now, especially after the horrors of trying to fly with a toddler. I'm flying less for the next couple of years.
For 20 plus years, I flew almost every week in my private sector.
I've had jobs where I did that before. Yeah.
Okay, so I know airports. I know the experiences. I've had crazy things happen. I've had turbulence, people acting like lunatics. Someone died on a plane trip from San Francisco to Milwaukee. We had to stop in Denver for.
That's insane.
Well, here's the weird thing. Yeah, weird thing is, they made an announcement. They didn't give us a lot of details. We found out when we were on the ground that the person had a heart attack and passed away. And there were doctors on the flight. They couldn't do anything. So that's a wild story. Anyway, so I am not a fan. This is not going to surprise you by any stretch of the imagination. This is the grouchy old man, Steve. If you tell me I'm going to leave at 4 o'clock, we better be on that damn plane leaving at 4 o'clock. I don't want to hear about your issues with, the system or software, or we don't have the pilot. How do you not have
weather?
Weather. I don't want to hear about it. Factor that in. Well, I'll give Joe Biden some credit. His administration actually had a plan, and they rolled it out, where passengers would be compensated by the airlines when they put us out like that. Mm-hmm. Well, the Trump administration posted Thursday, they're scrapping that. Sean Duffy, Department of Transportation. The comment is, this is the one that gets me. We are encouraged by this Department of Transportation review of unnecessary and burdensome regulations. Who said that?
Well, the airlines said that.
No. And this
what do you mean no? That's you don't think the airlines were vehemently against this regulation?
Yes.
Yes,
but,
it was caught. I mean, Spirit Airlines, it was like they're already working at that airline in particular. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, who won in this? The airlines won.
That's a good correction. So we'll take a break. I'll work up my anger because I'm absolutely don't like this at all. And
Did you ever benefit from
compensation? Yes.
Yes. Since this rule, because there's always it was kind of up to the.
Well, it was last year.
It was up to basically customer loyalty up to before that, right? As far as we're doing this because we want you to continue to fly with us versus having to do it. That was the big change.
Yeah. I was compensated last year for a delayed flight of 1 day. So
how much was it?
$700 or something.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. As far as if when the flight's canceled altogether. But that's all right, we'll come back.
I'm going to make a bigger point after the break. It's 11:41, 620 WTMJ. I haven't done a time check in a while. 11:41, 620 WTMJ. Kristin, Steve, point taken on the biggest stick in the state. You know where we're at, 620 WTMJ. Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
We see you out there making the most of every moment, one big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like all men's, women's, and kids' Skechers. Buy one, get one half price. Over 70% off men's Irish Setter waterproof boots, $69.99. And 6-packs of Craftsman ratcheting tie-downs, half price, just $14.99. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original. In honor of Labor Day, our stores will be closed Monday, September 1st.
If you or a loved one is ever hurt in an accident, don't call the first lawyer you happen to see on TV. Instead, call the law firm that's most qualified to handle the complexities of your case. Or call the firm that won the largest personal injury verdict in Wisconsin history. Or the one with the largest product liability verdict in state history. Or the one that has recovered more million-dollar results than any other firm in Wisconsin. It all happens to be the same firm. Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit habish.com for more information.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. We help people solve tough tax and financial problems so they can move forward with clarity and confidence in their business and personal lives. Our why is simple: to make a real difference for people who feel stuck, frustrated, or ignored, and give them the tools they need to succeed. We helped Cheryl clean up 2 years of QuickBooks so the business could see a path to a bright future because they now had good financial information in their hands. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him over $103,000 in penalties and over $152,000 in taxes by knowing the tax law. We have saved many marriages by tax planning with couples so they lower their tax owed on April 15th. Imagine the stress lifted off their shoulders after they talked with us. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Hey, John Mercure here for Experience Wisconsin. Join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. We check in with communities across the state for the best and brightest spots around Wisconsin. It's fun. It's cool. It's interesting. I even learn stuff most weeks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, we check out Rhinelander, the Northwoods in the fall. How good is that? And Lake Geneva. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Catch it also at WTMJ.com.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands.
All right, those of you who fly, this is Steve, Kristin alongside as well, as we are every day, 10 to noon right here on 620 WTMJ. I don't like this. Here's I've said this for a while, but it's the bigger point about all this. Companies used to be about their customers. First and foremost, customers, and probably employees too, because we had pension plans that fully rewarded their long-time service employees for a job well done for 40 years. Then you were taken care of in your retirement. Well, that's all out the window. Pensions are pretty much gone away. And now that sort of sentiment toward customers is replaced by this hierarchy: CEOs, shareholders, board, shareholders.
I think shareholders is first. Don't you think? Before the board?
I'm looking at CEO pay. I mean,
doesn't the board care? I mean, that I think
Anyway,
I think it's shareholders.
They're both
first.
up there. Customers are like way down the list. And this is another example of that. As much as I love the convenience of airlines and air travel, there's so much nonsense in this business that I don't like any of this, and we should be compensated when they screw us over. I should not have to sleep in an airport, which I've done, because you have some weather delay somewhere that's like, not even in the city I'm sitting in, but you can't get the plane in. Figure that out. I edited myself there. That's not my problem. I'm paying you to figure that out.
The weather thing doesn't bother me as much because I feel like that is a safety issue. It's more of when they're playing with a not full flight.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens and they canceled the flight entirely.
Yeah, blaming it on software.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's more of the we didn't model out correctly to optimize the seats on this flight, so we're just going to cancel it. So I think that there is shady things like that happen where it's not about safety at all. It's about profit. But it's also this thing about all of the fees that come on with airlines. Again, if you fly economy, that space has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller as far as how many seats that they now fit on a plane versus what it was 30 years ago.
It's always uncomfortable.
And then it's the baggage fees. There's thing after thing as far as how expensive it is to fly, how uncomfortable it is to fly, unless you're paying out the nose and can afford to be in business or in first class. And because it's also the fact that what's happening with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right? Why is there not from the government's perspective, ideally, you are the counterbalance to corporations taking advantage of people, of consumers. Where is the protection from the government to protect consumers, and where is the importance of that? And I understand that certain regulations stifle business, but we're already in a situation where corporations pay way less in taxes than they used to. There's also, we haven't raised the minimum wage in how many years? And so the government ends up picking up the bill for prioritizing corporations, because who is the biggest creator of welfare recipients? Walmart.
Yeah.
Right? So it's when these corporations underpay their employees, and then those employees have to be on government have different subsidy programs, whether it's SNAP, whether it's Medicaid. And so we as taxpayers are then covering the opportunity for businesses to not pay a living wage while they also are paying so low in taxes. And so it's we are a corporation first country.
There's no doubt about it. And it bothers me because we didn't used to look at it that way. And the agencies you're talking about, the one example you provided, they were created because we were getting screwed by companies and corporations. And they said, you know what? No. There has to be some oversight. And now apparently we're going to roll all that back because somebody doesn't like it? The fact that corporations don't make enough money? They're not losing money. They're making less profit. And I know that.
But are they?
Well, I don't know, because most of them don't pay taxes anymore, which is insane in this country, right? If everyone paid their fair share, we wouldn't have these issues. But that's the problem. Not everyone pays their fair share, including corporations. I was known as a pro-business mayor. I got criticized for that. I understand how business works, but there also has to be fairness built into that. And with these sort of decisions, this one, taking away the rights of airline passengers, not a good development. I'm not happy about it. And we know, because who's the latest now? Southwest, they're changing their whole structure. They're going to charge you. They're not going to have the just free-for-all seating. They're going to pick your seat. They're going to charge different prices for the same seat, which is sort of I was going to say something I can't say. It's sort of a ridiculous way to do business, right? I'm sitting next to somebody, they paid $300, I paid $450. In what world does that make sense?
That's how it already happened. I mean, it depends on when you buy it.
Yeah, I don't care about that. If it's the price of the
You're
seat,
going to hate AI when it starts because Delta already announced. No, Delta already announced that they're going to have flexible pricing based on what they know, what AI knows about you as a consumer. They will actually be able to start pinpointing what they think you are willing to pay.
I don't hate
which
AI.
might be different. Well, I know you don't hate AI.
I hate some aspects.
I'm
of
saying,
AI.
but the ability for AI to optimize price on a personal scale is going to exacerbate this.
He can pay it, she can't. Charge him, basically. Yeah, don't like it. Put me in the no camp on this Sean Duffy, Donald Trump change for airlines. Not happy about it.
All right.
I'm very happy that I edited myself throughout that entire commentary.
Good job.
All right. One final segment. I know you're mad because we could easily do another hour. There's so many things to talk about. Kristin, Steve, point taken, 620 WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi, just talking to some teammates about their sleep habits. Don't put up with restless nights of sleep. I know it's easy to say, but you don't have to put up with that. I did something about it. Almost 6 years ago now, I went to Advent, early days of my career, because I wasn't sleeping. I was a horrible snorer. My poor wife, Kathy, had to deal with all that. Heard that story, heard that refrain before. Well, I went to Advent, one of the great facilities, talked to their docs, 2 docs on my first visit. They put me at ease. We added in a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. After a short procedure done in office, breathing better than ever. Here's the cool part. When I go to bed, tired, I sleep through the whole night, wake up rested and refreshed. It seems like a dream. It's not. It's my reality, and I still have dreams, so that's good sleep as well. If you struggle like I used to, go to Advent. Find out how they can help you. Find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com. Simple as that. adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you're going to live better.
Ken David Mazur's thoughtful and spectacular final season as music director of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra kicks off in grand style as the MSO welcomes Stuart Goodyear to the Bradley Symphony Center as soloist in the Piano Concerto for the Left Hand by Maurice Ravel. This dazzling and inventive showpiece will be preceded by Swedish composer Andrea Torotti's festive overture. And then, in the second half, it's Richard Strauss's autobiographical work Ein Heldenleben, or A Hero's Life. With moving solos for the concertmaster, this piece features all that's best in Strauss, from its vast, sweeping design to lush harmonies and brilliant, masterful orchestration. The MSO's season opener, A Hero's Life, runs September 13th and 14th only. So reserve your tickets now while you still can. Visit MSO.org or call the box office at 414-291-7605.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based, Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Rocking and rolling on 620 WTMJ. Kristin, Brey, Steve Scaffidi. How is your Friday?
Friday's good.
I could literally do 2 more hours.
I know. I wish
Today
we had more time. But I wish. Well, should we tease what's coming up in the fall for us?
Which is.
It's funny because someone said, "When do you guys sleep?" We are going to launch a newsletter.
I know. I love this.
And so we're going to do a weekly roundup of the shows themselves, put the podcast in there, but also have a section of things that we're reading, recommendations, and some of the articles or the topics that were on
Stuff
the
we're
cutting,
reading.
well, also like things that got left on the cutting room floor. 'Cause
Funny
the amount
videos
of,
that
the
we thought
amount
were
of
just
things
amazing.
that we add as potential topics that we just don't have time to get to. And so there will be more information on that soon. But coming in October, we are going to start having a new newsletter that is the show, but it's kind of you and I in general. I'll put my links to my Journal Sentinel columns in there.
Your website.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
I'm geeked about it because
for all the more Steve people out there, there's
hashtag more Steve. Yeah.
Hashtag more newsletter.
You're gonna get
Steve.
a little. It's a sort of a different way to do the things that we do, right? I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a
about
roundup.
It. Yeah, and it's gonna have some really cool stuff. And for all those people who do want more Steve or more Kristin, and I just saw right on Kristin on the text line from Peter. Thanks for that. We're gonna give it to you. And there's a lot of newsletters. I subscribe to about 20 or 25 now. Morning Brew is a really good one that we both follow, and Axios, all of their various ones. If you're curious about AI, Axios AI, that newsletter is awesome. There's all kinds of cool things. Podcasts are amazing too, but the newsletter is sort of a new thing for 620 WTMJ. We've done a little bit of it. This is complete rebrand and redo, starring Kristin. I'm not the tech guy, so you're going to kind of take me by the hand and on this journey, but I'm excited about it.
I'm probably more familiar with the user interface of building an email newsletter.
I said you're going to build when I stop doing this.
As I'm building my own website right now.
Yeah, and it looks amazing.
Thanks.
So you're going to build my website when I stop doing this and start doing public speaking.
I'm going to charge you a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I'm going to charge the people that hire me a lot of money. So have you seen that business? Holy macaroni. People getting like 10 grand for a 45-minute.
That's low.
Yeah, it is low because both my daughters book speakers.
I was told that Liz Cheney, guess what her appearance fee?
It's got to be 50 grand. More than that?
It's over 100.
See, I need that action.
Just to show up.
I need that action.
Well, you also need to lose your job in Congress and defy your entire party
true.
and have be a compelling sell.
I'll give you inside baseball on me. So I don't do a lot of public speaking anymore, but I did one recently. And people, the reason they like me is, one, it's about experiences, and I've had a lot of them, different ones. But the ability to, it used to be called work a room. Last one, they go, do you want a podium? I go, I don't want a podium. I'm going to walk in the audience. I walk in the audience with a microphone. I'm all over the place. I'll have in the middle of a speech, I'll have an individual conversation with somebody because it's relevant to what we're talking about. That's the dynamic that I bring. I'm interactive.
Are you selling yourself right now?
I am.
Like,
I'm pitching.
You're set it up.
I'm pitching future work.
You need a keynote speaker for your next
Yes.
big conference at work.
And right now,
Steve Scaffidi is for sale.
And right now, I'm cheap. Awesome show today. You have an awesome weekend. I'm going up to Green Bay.
Go Packers.
I'll be on the pregame Sunday with Gabe and Alex. Love those guys. News is next, then midday. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling.